Hello students, do you remember what we discussed in the previous session? We were discussing about the concept of sex determination. That means how exactly the progeny or the individual's sex will be determined. We know that it occurs during the time of what itself? Fertilization itself, right? After that, usually no other factor can change the sex of the progeny. And you even know that chromosomes play the important role in determining the sex of the progeny. Chromosomes main role na play ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇವೆ. We know the chromosomes are of two type. What are they? Number one, autosome, and number two, allosome. Which one play main role in sex determination? Allosomes. Allosomes are also called sex chromosomes. They are of how many type? Again, two type. What are they? One is X chromosome, another one is Y chromosome. Do you remember who first identified or observed that structure, a nuclear structure called X body? Scientist by name Henking. 1 mark question. Okay, now here we know that chromosomes play important role in sex determination, and the chromosomal sex determination further classified into 3 categories. Can you recall it? They are number 1, male heterogamety, number 2, female heterogamety, number 3, haploid diploid type. In the last session I discussed about male heterogamety, where gamete produced by the male are of different type in terms of sex chromosome. Male heterogamety are of two type. Types ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುವಾಗ ಎರಡು ಟೈಪ್. ಯಾವ್ಯಾವುದು? XX XY type, example humans, Drosophila are the example. One more is XXXO type ಅಲ್ವಾ, example grasshopper. ಅದರೊಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು example ಕೂಡ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇನೆ. Anyhow, in this session let me continue with, I am left with 2 more. What are they? Male heterogamety is over right now. Now we are left with, practice along with me, recall along with me. Number 2, female heterogamety, and number 3, haploid diploid type. As you already know the concept of male heterogamety, I am 100% sure the second one, what is that? Female heterogamety becomes very easy for you. It is my promise. Very simple. Just try to understand. Now, first write the definition. Already I have given the definition of male heterogamety. Can you, by looking into it, can you write the definition of female heterogamety? 1 mark question. Okay. Females produce different types of gametes. A female produce ಮಾಡುವ egg ಏನು ಇದೆ, it is of different type. In terms of what? Shape? Size? No. In terms of sex chromosome, right? Next line. It is of 2 types. Number 1, ZZ-ZW type, and number 2, ZZ-ZO type. The 2 types of female heterogamety are in that, number 1, ZZ-ZW type, and another one is which one? ZZ-ZO type. Now you may start thinking, what exactly this Z and W is? I told you already that the sex chromosomes are of 2 type. What are they? One I called it X, another one I named it as Y chromosome. Idenidu ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ Z ಮತ್ತು W? Yes. If you look at the Z and W chromosome, they are exactly same as X and Y chromosome. X ಮತ್ತು Y, Z ಮತ್ತು W ಏನು ಇದೆ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ, they are same. Just for the study purpose, for our convenience, to avoid the confusion, ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ XXXY ಅಂತ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ, instead of X I am using Z, instead of Y I am using W. Is that clear? Z ಮತ್ತು W ಗೂ XY ಗೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಇಲ್ಲ. Instead of X and Y, to avoid the confusion, that's it, confusion avoid ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ I am using the letter what? Z and W. Now the first question is, which is the example for this. You can write along with me. Very simple it is. The main example is what? Birds. Birds are the best example. They are known for this method. They are known for female heterogamety. Then the question is, how exactly the sex will be determined in the birds? Very simple. Let us see how exactly it is. Parents, female, and the male individual. Okay, now already we know we are studying this one under female heterogamety. Male heterogamety alli adre nimge gottuntu male is producing different type of gamete, adre the egg produced by the female are of different type. So dear students, can you just guess who is having ZZ, who is having ZW? Let me write the karyotype, carry-on nucleus ಅಥವಾ chromosomal condition ಅಲ್ವಾ? Make the correction, karyotype ಅಥವಾ genotype ಅಂತ ಬರಿಬಹುದು. Karyotype ಅಂದ್ರೆ chromosomal condition ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅದರ meaning. Now female is having diploid number of autosome. Of course, ಸೆಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ರೋಮೋಸೋಮ್ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಯಾವುದು ಕ್ರೋಮೋಸೋಮ್ ಇದೆ? autosome. Along with diploid set of autosome, she is having which sex chromosome? ZZ or ZW? It is what? ZW. Very important. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, the gamete produced by the female are of different type. What about here? 2A plus ZZ. During reproduction, the first step is formation of what? Gametes. Okay, now what exactly happens? The female produces the gamete called egg. My question is very simple. The egg produced by the female are of same type or different type? Different type. 50% egg carry A plus Z chromosome, remaining 50% egg carry A plus W chromosome. So students, who is homogametic, who is heterogametic? What about female? Of course, she is what? She is heterogametic alva. Avalu heterogametic adare the sperm produced by the male bird, all sperms have what? A plus Z chromosome. No choice left with the male gamete. Now in this case the scenario is here, right? The entire choice goes with the what? The female gamete, not with the male gamete. In this case, female plays a main role in determining the sex of whom? The sex of the progeny, right? In case of whom? Birds. Now very simple, try to understand. If the egg having Z chromosome is fertilized by sperm having Z chromosome, then what is the karyotype of the progeny? Diploid number of autosome plus 2 Z chromosome. So what is the sex of the individual? Shall I write female? No. What? Male. Alva. The baby will develop into male. Instead of the egg having Z chromosome, right? Instead of this egg, idara badalu, if the egg having W chromosome is fertilized by the sperm, then the progeny is going to have diploid number of autosome along with ZW chromosome and hence develops into what? Female. I hope you are understanding the concept. You are getting the concept here, which is very simple. In case of male heterogamety, XXXY ಮತ್ತು XXXO case ಏನು ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, where male partner is playing the main role. The gamete of the male decides the sex of the progeny, right? Now what about here? In this case, the gamete of the female determines the sex of the progeny. Which egg is going to fertilize? whether the egg having Z chromosome or egg having W chromosome, right? The male partner role is minimum. Dear students, not in reproduction. In what? Determining the sex. I am speaking only about sex determination only. Sex anna determine ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ yes Z chromosome ಅನ್ನ ಮೇಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, but it should be male or female that is determined by whom? The egg of the female. Is that clear? This we can expect in case of whom? Birds. So note down 2-mark question. What is female heterogamety? And give one example. Write the definition, and the straightaway example is what? Birds. Okay. Give an example for a type of female heterogamety. Your answer is ZZZW type. Give example. Once again, answer is what? Birds. Okay. The second one, which is that apart from ZZZW, there is one more type, which is that number 2. Take it as a note, and number 2, it is ZZZO type. Please take it as a note, which we can see in moths, some arthropods, moths, and some butterflies. Okay. Butterflies. Moths and butterflies are known for this one. ಇದನ್ನ ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಿ. ಫ್ಲೋ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೀವೇ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಟೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ನೀಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್. ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಬೋರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿ. ಇಸ್ ದಟ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ಹೆಟರೋಗ್ಯಾಮ್ಯಾಟಿ ಅನ್ನುವಾಗ ಫಾರ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿಂಗ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್. This you need to remember along with example. Now, can you work out this one? Can you write the flow chart in this case? I will not write. It is a very important for NEET. What you will write? Female is having AA plus ZO. ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಅಥವಾ 2A plus ZO ಈ ಕೇಸಲ್ಲಿ. What do you mean by ZO? She is having only one sex chromosome. Which is that? Z. Another sex chromosome is missing, absent, which is represented by the condition O. ವರ್ಕೌಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಲ್ವಾ? ವೆರಿ ಸಿಂಪಲ್. ಅದನ್ನು ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಬಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇದು ಮಾತ್ರ. ಮೇಲ್ ಹೆಟರೋಗ್ಯಾಮ್ಯಾಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಟೈಪ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇವಲ ಇದನ್ನು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಆಯಿತು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಈವನ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೇಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ನೋಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಅಗೇನ್. ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ಬರ್ಡ್ಸ್, ಈವನ್ ಫಿಶಸ್ and reptiles are also known for ZZZW type, but you are not going to mention this in the boards exam. Okay, you have to strictly speak about only which one? Birds. So by this, okay, please write this one and even write the explanation, which is very important. I am ending up with which one? The second method of the second type of chromosomal sex determination, that is female heterogamety. Let me move on to the third one. Do you remember the third one? What is that? Haploid diploid type. So students, whenever you study genetics, the next chapter molecular biology, it's the next chapter evolution, it is very important. Maintain the sequence, study in a proper channel. Okay, ನೀವೇನಾದರೂ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮೊಮೆಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಓಕೆ ಮೊನೋ ಹೈಬ್ರಿಡ್ ಡೈ ಹೈಬ್ರಿಡ್ ಆದ ಮೇಲೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾನೆ, ಅಗೇನ್ ಯು ಮೇ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್. ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ನಾವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕಿದ್ರೂ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ನೀವು ಕೂಡ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗ್ತೀರಿ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈ ಯೂನಿಟಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುವ ಈ 3 ಚಾಪ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಬೋತ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್. ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಇನ್ ಅ ಸೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್, ಇನ್ ಅ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ ಆರ್ಡರಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿ. ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ನಾವು ಯಾವ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿ. ದೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಈಸಿ. Later on you can go through NCERT also. Okay, now let me go to the third one. What is that? Haploid diploid type, or the same thing in NCERT the heading is given as sex determination. Write down in honeybee. Okay, sex determination in whom? Honeybee. The same thing is given like this. Or it can be also called haplodiploidy. diploidy. It is also called what? Haplodiploidy. Now what exactly the case is? Which are the examples here? I will give you the explanation. You can note down the example. The example is already in front of you. What is that? Honeybee. Remember, apart from honeybee, we can even see this in case of whom also? Ants and some wasp species also. We can see this. A unique phenomena that we will see in some of the insects. One of the best example is honeybee. Remember, in this case, not the type of sex chromosome will determine the sex of the progeny. In the previous two cases, which sex chromosome is there, whether it is X, Y, Z, W, alva, the type of sex chromosome will determine the sex of the progeny in the last two concepts. But in this case, it is not the sex chromosome which is deciding the sex of the progeny. Instead, the set of the chromosome. XY sex chromosome idea, adu sex ana determine marta illa honeybees galalli. Set of chromosome. That means whether the individual is haploid or the individual is diploid. Guys, what about in humans? In humans, male is diploid. The normal body cells, the male cells are what? Diploid. What about female? Of course, female body cells are also diploid. Adare, in case of honeybee, females are diploid, males are haploid. Understood? A very unique phenomena we can see here. A very important 5-mark question also. Try to understand here. The set of the chromosome will determine the sex of the progeny. That means whether the individual is haploid or the individual is diploid. Haploid agidre honeybee male. Diploid agidre honeybee what? Female. When I say honeybee, you know, the honeybee population or the members who are there, we can group them into three categories. What are they? The three categories include, one is queen, you know the very well, another one is worker bees, and one more is drones. Can you guess in this who are all males and who are females? So of course the name itself tells queen, and even the workers are what? Female, whereas the drones are male. Don't forget that. Okay. Now, if I look at this, in case of honeybee, parents, I will take here the female bee and I will take which one? Male bee. If you observe the set of chromosome, what? The set of chromosome, here I am not interested in X and Y. Here we are focusing only on the set of chromosome. The females, each body cell is what? Diploid. Each body cell is diploid with how many chromosome? 32 chromosome, whereas each body cell of the male is haploid with how many chromosome? 16 chromosome. A unique phenomena, right? Females are diploid, males are haploid. Now, how exactly it will happen in them? Very simple concept. During reproduction, once again, the first step is what? Formation of gametes. Now, the female produces a gamete, the male also produces the gamete. If you observe here, the egg produced by the female, right? The egg is formed by the female by mitosis or meiosis. It is by meiosis, where the egg is haploid with how many chromosome? 16 chromosome. You guys already know that gametes should be always what? Haploid. Gametes yavattu kuda yava condition alli irbeku? Haploid. So the female is producing the egg is haploid, and the haploid eggs are formed from diploid cells of the body ಅಲ್ವಾ, ರಿಡಕ್ಷನಲ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಬೈ ಮೈಟೋಸಿಸ್ ಆರ್ ಮಿಯೋಸಿಸ್. In human female, the human female produces egg. By which process? Meiosis 1, meiosis 2. Human male produces sperm. By which process? Meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. But here, if you observe, the sperm produced by the male individual is again what? Haploid. The sperms are, you're following, right? The sperms are haploid. The gamete is also haploid. Parental body cell is also haploid, right? There is no reduction. You cannot write n/2 anta barilikke agodilla. Gamete should be always in which condition? Haploid condition. If you observe, the sperm formed by the male is haploid. There is no reduction. It is equational division, a unique phenomena where male produces sperm by mitosis, female produces egg by meiosis. What about in the humans? Both human male, human female produce sperm and ova only by which process? Meiosis. But in them it is very unique, right? Now egg and sperms are ready. Next is the process of fertilization and formation of what? Progeny. Okay, now suppose the egg formed by the female, if it is fertilized by the sperm, egg and sperm eradu kuda enagide? Fertilization. Okay, if there is what? Fertilization, you know, the young one which is going to born, the baby which will be formed, it is having n plus n. Hence the zygote or the young one become haploid or diploid? Diploid with how many chromosome? 32 chromosome. If the egg and sperms are fertilized, the young one zygote formation agi ಏನು ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, the young one will be diploid with how many chromosome? 32 chromosome. Hence it will become male or female? The individual will develop into female. Now my question is very simple for 1 mark. How females become diploid? ಹೇಗೆ ಫೀಮೇಲ್ಸ್ ಡಿಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ? ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್? ವೆರಿ ಸಿಂಪಲ್. ಫೀಮೇಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ born by a fertilized egg. What is your answer? Females are born by, formed by which process? Fertilized egg. Suppose if the egg formed is unfertilized, ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ the egg formed is, I will write here, okay, if the egg formed is unfertilized, what about in that case? Suppose human female every month ಅವಳು menstrual cycle ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ, she is producing egg. ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ಆ ಎಗ್ ಅಥವಾ ಓವಾ ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಾದರೆ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಗೋ ಡಿಜನರೇಷನ್. ಏಟ್ರೇಷಿಯಾ, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಗೋ ವಾಟ್? ಡಿಜನರೇಷನ್. ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಜಾರಿಟಿ ಆನಿಮಲ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇಮ್ ಥಿಂಗ್, ರೈಟ್? ನೋ, ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕೇಸ್ if the egg is unfertilized, the unfertilized egg also develop into a new individual with haploid set of chromosome and develops into what? Male. A unique phenomena seen in some insects like honeybee, where unfertilized egg also develop into, ಇಷ್ಟು ಸಮಯ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತುಂಟು fertilized egg develop into female, but how male babies become haploid? How male babies are born? The male are born from fertilized egg or unfertilized egg? Unfertilized. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ they remain what? Haploid. Fertilization ಆದರೆ young one become diploid. If it is no fertilization, still the egg will develop into a new individual. And can you guess what is this process called? That is called, yes, what is that called? Parthenogenesis. What is that called? ಪಾರ್ಥೆನೋಜೆನೆಸಿಸ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದಿರಲ್ವ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರಲ್ಲಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಪಾರ್ಥೆನೋಜೆನೆಸಿಸ್? ಅ ಫಿನಾಮಿನಾ ಇನ್ ವಿಚ್ ದ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಬಾರ್ನ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಅ ಅನ್ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಎಗ್. ಆದರೆ ಹನಿಬಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಅನ್ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಎಗ್ಗಿಂದ ಹುಟ್ಟುವ ಪ್ರೊಜೆನಿ ಏನು ಇದೆ, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಮೇಲ್. ವೈ ಮೇಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಡ್? They are born from unfertilized egg. Why females are diploid? They are born from a fertilized egg. Egg is formed by meiosis. Sperm is formed by mitosis. It is a unique phenomena seen in some of the insects. Okay, I am left with one more concept that I will tell you. First, you write down the notes. It is a very important 5-mark question. Write the heading, write the example. This is the standard example. Write the flow chart. Okay, ಈ flow chart ಅನ್ನು ಬರೆದ ಮೇಲೆ note down the points. I will read out. In this case, sex is determined by number of sets of chromosome. Sex is determined by number of sets of chromosome, whether it is a single set or it is 2 set alwa. Number of sets of chromosome an individual receives, that is whether the individual is haploid or diploid. Next line, explanation very important, neat agi baribeku. Okay, an offspring formed from the union of sperm and egg. Offspring formed from the union of sperm and egg, in bracket fertilization, close the bracket, develop into female, full stop. Continue the line. Hence females are diploid, in bracket 2n, and have 32 chromosomes. Females are diploid and have, in bracket 2n, and have 32 chromosome, full stop. Continue the same line. Queen and workers are females. Queen and workers are females. Next line. An unfertilized egg develop into male. Unfertilized egg develop into male by means of parthenogenesis. Underline parthenogenesis. Full stop. Continue the line. Hence, males are haploid, in bracket n, and have 16 chromosomes. Full stop. Continue the line. Drones are males. Next line. It is a unique phenomena seen in insects in which, egg is formed by meiosis and sperm is formed by mitosis. ಇವೆಲ್ಲವೂ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲನೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈನ್, ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈನ್, ವೆರಿ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ನೋಟ್ ಡೌನ್. ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಯು ದಿಸ್. The spatial feature, last line, the spatial feature of this phenomena is, males do not have father. ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿ. Males do not have father, hence and thus cannot have sons, sons, but have grandfather and can have grandson. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ complicated family story ಅಲ್ವಾ? Shall I repeat the last statement? Try to understand here. This is the very important statement. ಇದನ್ನು ಟ್ವಿಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೀಟಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು ನಿಮಗೆ. Okay, look at this male baby. Do this male is having father? No, males do not have father. Why? Because the male progeny is born from an unfertilized egg. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಮೇಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗುವಾಗ ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಅನ್ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಎಗ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಮೇಲ್. ಸೊ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಮೇಲ್ ಡು ನಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಫಾದರ್, ಹೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸನ್ಸ್. ಡು ಯು ಅಗ್ರಿ? ಫಾದರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಮೇಲ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಡು ನಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಫಾದರ್ and hence and thus cannot have son. Do you agree? If you want, in a rough, you continue this. Suppose ಈ ಮೇಲ್ ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಆ ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ಎಗ್ ಅನ್ನು ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಸನ್ ಆರ್ ಡಾಟರ್? It will be daughter. So males do not have father and thus cannot have son. But males have grandfather. Do you agree? How come? Male is having grandfather. See here, this male is born from the egg of the female. She is the mother, right? This female is born from the sperm and ova of its parent. ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ಬೇಬಿ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ಬೇಕೇ ಬೇಕು. ಅಂದರೆ ಇವಳಿಗೆ ತಂದೆ ಮತ್ತು ತಾಯಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಮೇಲ್ಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗ್ರ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಫಾದರ್. ತಾಯಿಯ ತಂದೆಯ ತಂದೆ ಬೇರೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ, ಮೇಲ್ಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗ್ರ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಫಾದರ್, ಹರ್ ಫಾದರ್, ರೈಟ್? ಮೇಲ್ಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗ್ರ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಫಾದರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ grandson. ಬೇಕಿದ್ರೆ ವರ್ಕೌಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಇಸ್ ಅ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ಮೇಲ್ಸ್ ಡು ನಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಫಾದರ್ and thus cannot have son, but have grandfather and can hence have grandson. So a unique phenomena where the set of chromosome will determine the sex of the progeny, whether the individual should be male or female. And try to understand, the female is diploid because she is born from a fertilized egg. Male is haploid because it is born from a unfertilized egg by a process called parthenogenesis. So this is all about which one? What is that? Sex determination. In that, this is the most important 5-mark question. Remaining all what I explained, usually it will be asked for either 1 mark or 2 mark or for 3 mark.